This might well be my favourite coffee cocktail of all of 2021. It's called a Coffee Junglebird, and in many ways it really shouldn't work, but it just does. So let's have a look at it. So what exactly is a Junglebird? So it's kind of a lot of things. So to begin with, it's very much a Tiki style drink with the dark rum and the pineapple and the really nice tropical notes. But it's also got a bit of an Aperitivo style to it, with the bitterness from the Campari and the really refreshing, crisp mouthfeel of the drink. But as well as that, it's similar to a sour. We've got the acidity and the sweetness from the ingredients, but also that really nice foamy texture. And it does sound like a very busy drink, and it is, but all of these big flavors and styles come together to create a really unique and interesting drink. So they're big flavors, they're big ingredients, but coffee is a really good way to bridge all of those ingredients together and provide a balanced drink at the end of it, which is going to be the Coffee Junglebird. But going back to the classic Junglebird, it was invented in the 1970s by Jeffrey Ong in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. It was invented at the Aviary Bar, hence the name, and the original specs were 45 ml of dark rum, 15 ml of Campari, 15 ml of freshly squeezed lime juice, 12.5 ml of sugar syrup, and 45 ml of fresh pineapple juice. So really big ingredients, bold flavors, but they all marry together, they're shaken over ice, served over crushed ice, and you get a really nice, complex, bitter, sweet, acidic drink. Lots of things going on which come together really nicely. But today, what I want to do is incorporate coffee into the mix to create an even more balanced and rounded and unique drink. So I needed to choose a coffee which had big, intense characteristics, and what I've gone for comes from a friend of mine, Mickey at Typica in the UAE. So this is actually the coffee she served in WBC, the World Barista Championship in Milan, and I was lucky enough to take a bag home, which is here. And this is a Mandela variety, which is a hybrid variety, and it's an experimental fermentation called XO fermentation. But the reason I actually chose this coffee is because it's just got bags of flavor, lots of tropical notes, pineapple, passion fruit. But as well as this, it's also got a bit of a spice to it. So kind of cinnamon character. And pineapple and cinnamon, as you'll probably see from future episodes, is one of my favorite flavor combinations in the world. And it's just gonna bring a really nice body, depth, intensity, and bridge together those big, bold flavors really, really nicely. As well as this, lots of Tiki cocktails contain falernum, which is a kind of spice, flavor profile, and this has a similar effect to that. So we don't have falernum in this particular drink, but it really complements it really nicely with that really nice spice and intense coffee flavor. So to get this into the drink, let's start building the Coffee Junglebird. So that coffee, I've infused into a Coffee Saccharum, and I'm gonna add 10 mils of this. So this isn't a coffee dominant drink. Coffee's there to bridge and balance all of those other big flavors, but not to be an intense, dominant flavor. And this is a really nice way to do it. We've got high intensity from the Coffee Saccharum, but we've got quite a small amount when it comes to the rest of the drink. When it comes to dark rum, I'm actually choosing a black rum, Gosling's Black Seal. And I didn't actually know this, but black rum is a little bit controversial in some circles. So it's usually made from lightly aged or unaged rum, and then it's kind of given that artificial aging with the addition of caramel or molasses, giving it that really dark color, really rich kind of treacle, toffee, really so good. All those intense kind of barrel mimicking flavors without actually being aged in a barrel. So some people consider this cheating, which I didn't realize, because obviously you can't exactly mimic decades inside a charred oak barrel. However, it's delicious and it works really well in this drink. So 40 mils of that, I've slightly reduced down from 45 because I don't want it to be too overpowered by those dark treacly flavors which are also in the coffee. And then we're gonna add our bitter note, which is 15 mil of Campari. Sticking to the original specs on that. And you don't get Campari in a lot of Tiki drinks, but it's a welcome addition in this one. Then we're going to add 15 ml of lime juice, freshly squeezed, of course. And I'm just going to squeeze this onto the scales, just a bit tidier. So 15 grams of our lime juice. Actually, there's a bit less than a whole lime. Boop. There we go. And then I'm actually going to omit the sugar syrup from this recipe because we've got lots of sweetness coming from the Coffee Saccharum, from the really quality pineapple juice. So I'm going to skip that, add in 40 mils of pineapple juice, which is a bit less than the original spec, but we don't want to have it too sweet. And that's plenty to give it that really nice foamy texture when we shake up the drink. So I quite often use pineapple juice in place of egg whites or aquafaba, which is chickpea water, when I'm trying to create that really nice foamy texture on top of a drink. But obviously it brings a pineapple taste. So this can work really nicely in amaretto sours, whiskey sours, any drink that can handle those really nice tropical notes. It works really well. And in this drink, it brings that really nice tropicality. Tropicality? Is that a word? I think it's a word. We'll go to tropicality. And it ties in with that dark rum really, really well. So the final ingredient, which you might not expect, but I add to pretty much most big, intense flavored cocktails, is a saline solution. So 1 part quality salt to 5 parts water, just dissolve it, and then I add it at 1 gram per 100 mils of liquid. So 10, 50, 65, so 10, 50, 65, 80 from the lime, 120 from the pineapple. So I'm going to add 1.2 mils, 1.2 grams of our saline solution. Smooth. And this doesn't add enough salt to make the drink taste salty, but it just, again, it's kind of a bridge and balancer. I'll be using bridge and balance a lot in these things because coffee and other ingredients tend to bring big flavors together. But salt, again, does a really good job with that. So all of those big flavors just tend to harmonize. When you don't add the salt versus when you do add the salted drinks always come out on top in my experience. So 1.2 grams in there, and then we're gonna give it a good shake. Alrighty, so I'm gonna ice that up. Some nice dry quality ice. Hello. There you go. Give that a little shake. Which is very difficult to do without being awkward on camera. And then I'm going to add this to a frozen glass, which is always the way I'd like to serve my cocktails. If they're designed to be cold, make them really nice and cold. So classic Junglebird, as I said, is served over crushed ice. I prefer to serve it over no ice. I'm not really into crushed ice on my face and lips or through a straw, which would defeat the object because you're drinking it from the bottom of the drink where you don't get that nice texture. So I'm going to give this a little swirl. I'm going to fine strain out any of those shards of ice. And then I'm just serving it without ice in this little tumbler. And it's slightly underfilled on purpose, so then we can give it a little swirl, liven up those nice foamy textures again if it dissipates at all. And although you could garnish this drink with lots of sort of garish, unnecessary garnishes, I'm going to do without because there are no wasted ingredients or chopped up ingredients other than those limes, which look a little sad. So there we have the coffee Junglebird. I'm gonna give it a taste. It's just so, yeah, it's so good. It's big flavors, but actually this is a really delicious kind of harmonious drink now. The coffee's really subtle, not giving too much to the drink, just bringing everything together. The level of sweetness is really nice, it's not too sweet. Doesn't taste like salt, which is good, that's what we're going for. But all of those things, despite being big, bold flavors, just tie in really nicely. So, up front, it's almost like rhubarb, grapefruit, really nice, sweet and sour. Then you've got like a chocolate truffle kind of flavor going on. Then it's all tropicality at the end, pineapple, but actually, it's kind of creamy again. So, pretty delicious drink. Tune in next week, we're going to be learning how to make this, which is our Coffee Saccharum. And if you haven't already, please click subscribe, and I'll look forward to joining you for a coffee cocktail in the very near future. Thanks very much for watching. It's nice that.